All right. Good morning, world. It is your good old boy JR coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada, in this very early edition of the 2024 NFL Mock Draft. I want to thank everybody so much for joining us, especially this early in the morning. Happy Saturday. Hopefully, everybody's having a good weekend. Hopefully, you guys are sleeping in. And then that way, if you're on the West Coast, hopefully you guys are sleeping in and you get to check out this video later. For everybody that's going to be tuning in, thank you so much. Brandon will be joining us on Instagram Live here in a bit at the Old Sports Talks podcast Instagram page on Instagram Live. And if you want to check the page out at YouTube, it is Jack's Wild Sports Show. And there he is, the man of the hour. Brandon, good morning, my man. How are you doing? I'm good. I'm good. I'm ready to get this rocking and rolling, man. I after the show yesterday, thought about it, and I think you're gonna like my pick for you guys today. I think you're really gonna love it, man. I know you're a little disappointed that I took Penix at 13. I'm sorry. It was selfish of me. I get that. Very selfish. I get. Okay, very selfish. I get that. But you understood this, and I pleaded my case to you of why I needed Michael Penix Jr. in that locker room. I know we're gonna need a right tackle. We're probably gonna need another corner. But Michael Penix falls to you. You have to have a discussion. Well, I hope they keep thinking like that, so that way, either Drake May or Michael Penix Jr. can fall to us, and at that point, it's like I would be. Yes. 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 And like, yes. Okay, how am I going to screw this league up now? But no, today, so just for people that don't know, today it's going to be a double feature. So we have the Saints and the Colts today. We're going to be doing 2 picks today because, as we all know, tomorrow's Easter. Nobody's going to have enough time to do anything tomorrow except be with family, enjoy their stuff, do whatever it is you got to do. So that's why we're doing the 2 picks today. So above all else, Brandon, you ready to get this started with your team? Let's do it, man. I know it's painful, but let's do it. Let's do this. Okay. So the Saints are on the clock. Number 14. After finishing 9-8 with the 9th best offense and the 8th best defense. That's already hard to fathom as I'm reading. I'm sorry. So having the 9th best offense and 8th best defense, it just seemed it wasn't enough to win the division and just miss the playoffs by a game. I think there's a lot of opinions of why they missed the playoffs. Just like the Jaguars, it was their division to lose, and it happened. It happened, and that was the thing. But above all else, let's just get this out of the way. Derek Carr, 3,878 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's a normal Derek Carr season. That's a great season. You're shaking your head like, no, I don't want to talk about this. What is wrong, Brandon? What is wrong? Why don't you want to talk about this, man? Alvin Kamara, he did have to serve his suspension after that Little incident 2 blocks from the road from me about it was, I mean, that's a normal Saturday in Vegas, as I like to call it, you know. That's just a normal Saturday, you know. It happens. It's a little incident. That's a little incident. That's that little incident. All right. It's over. He served him. There's nothing that could happen now. He's clean. And he wasn't found not guilty. He was good. The charges got dismissed. It's all good. It's all good. Even after missing those 4 games, he still ended up being the top rusher for this team with 694 yards, 5 touchdowns, to go along with 75 receptions, 1 touchdown, and 426 yards. That's impressive for missing 4 games. That's still impressive. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, that's damn impressive. Chris Olave being Chris Olave, 87 receptions, 1,123 yards, 5 touchdowns. Again, people can say, anything about they want about Garrett Wilson probably being the best receiver in that draft class. Chris Olave is right there. So take it as you may. Take it as you may. And then surprise, surprise, Brandon, Demario Davis finishes the team in tackles again with 121 combined tackles. Surprise, surprise, one of the better inside linebackers in the NFL. Very underrated. I almost feel he's almost like a London Fletcher. Like, he's so great, but the thing is, there's a Ray his he has a problem with his Ray Lewis, and it's like nobody really talks about him like that. But I love Demario Davis, and it's like, yeah, it's no surprise to me that he finished the team in tackles. No. What did surprise me though, Carl Granderson finished the team with being the team leader in sacks with 8.5, which is great. Which is great. Especially with the way how everything was shaping up in the beginning, and then it just all came together, and then that happened. And then Paulson Adebo and Tyrann Mathieu with 4 interceptions each, which again, when you have a top 10 defense, this is what expect: high turnovers, high sacks, just everywhere. So Brandon, I gotta ask you, man, you're the Saints fan out of this group. What happened? Oh yeah, they just, yeah, that was that second half. The Saints defense just, like, yeah, they shut that down immediately. Demico Ryans.
been down to shave about Dennis out of because even when we talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars game, we forced turnovers. The offense just sucked. It wasn't like we weren't doing our job. We were doing our job. The offense just sucked. And then today, like I just feel like now that Carmichael is gone, thank the Lord.
Thank the Lord.
I feel like there was a king of the ultimatum. Like it was like, dude, either we fire you or you fire him. And it was like, well, Pete, I'm sorry to tell you, man,
but you gotta go.
You gotta go. And that's the thing. Just like what the Saints were. It was just a magnacosm of everything that we kind of expected it to be. Derek Carr was going to come in, kind of be a little shaky with the offense. I mean, as the season progressed, they kind of started getting a rhythm. I'm happy with the changes that have been made. Pete Carmichael is gone. Michael Thomas is finally gone. I don't know why people kept screaming. Like I said, when he got released, every damn highlight that y'all kept showing was when he was with Drew Brees in 2019. That's how long it's been since he's been healthy and on the field. Think about that. Since 2019.
I finally saw that tribute video that you were talking about too, and I was just like, wow.
You keep waiting for him to be that guy. He hasn't been a guy like 4 years. Like, what are we waiting for? Like, no, we got a better Michael Thomas. His name is Chris Olave. And I'm cool with that. Like I've been saying that. I'm saying we got a Michael Thomas. His name is Chris Olave. Why are we holding this kid back? Because you want something that's never going to be able to be that again.
Right.
And I just couldn't understand. And everybody's like going off on Dennis Allen. How could you let Michael Thomas just fall? Because he's been hurt for 4 years.
It's been a minute. And honestly, I think it's time for a change of scenery for him too, because him attacking the team,
he always does that.
Him attacking, well, it's not just the team. It's, certain player, certain doctors, I think it was just a change of scenery for him, which now, am I still surprised that he's still on the market? No, absolutely not. Of course he's still on the market. It's because it's one thing you have to understand. One, there is a little bit of injury concern, right? Now, if it was one thing where it's like, oh, he got hurt 2 years ago and now he looks 100% healthy, okay, maybe I would have signed him. But the fact that it's just like hurt, played, hurt, and he's a big guy too. It's not like he's a tiny dude. He's a big guy. So those things keep reappearing. It hurts. It hurts his stock. It's not like he came out of Ohio State, literally in the second round, when you guys drafted him. He's been in the league now for what? 6 years, 7 years? What is he now? 27? So it's one of those things where, hey guys, it's probably time,
And that's the thing, like I don't get, like I'm completely different than any media. It is because Saints Twitter goes crazy. He's like, how did you let Michael Thomas walk?
Because it was time. He like what? You want him to take more money away from you guys? The money that you don't already have? The reason that you guys are pretty much in cap hell every time of the year?
I don't get that. Like I didn't understand. Like I didn't understand why you signed him last year. I'm like, why did you?
Like, listen, I like Michael Thomas. I do as the player. The problem is, it's the person is killing me because and here's the thing. To be fair, it wasn't just Michael Thomas. I mean, it was a lot of people. I mean, listen, here's the thing, and here's the eye-opening part. I thought when my team and certain players were calling out a certain player, I thought it was just because, well, we're just a shit-run organization and we don't know what to do with this talent. So it's like, okay, well, it's probably best if he does go. After 9 years, it's probably best if he just get a chance to go somewhere. Now, me thinking logically, okay, well, he's going to go to the NFC South. And I couldn't tell you how many already Raider fans on my end where it's like, oh man, you gave the Saints Derek Carr. He's going to finally have a top 10 defense. He's finally going to win a Super Bowl. This is it. This is the 49ers' worst nightmare. Then the season plays out, and I would like to look at all those Raider fans and say, man, Derek Carr got a little bit of tan on him for winning the Super Bowl this past season. Changed his number and everything. Got a little tan on him. I'm jealous. I'm a little jealous. Now I think it's just a constant thing because the first thing was it was very apparent that the offensive line didn't. I mean, I know people are going to be here and be like, "How do you know the offensive line didn't like him? Do you know him?" No, but I saw Cesar Ruiz almost wanted to kill the motherfucker. I saw Eric McCoy almost wanted to get into it, and poor Ryan Samsick had to like hold them off. I saw him yell at Chris Olave to run when he threw the ball 20 yards out of the bounds, and he told him to keep running. Alvin Kamara, his attitude this whole year was, as long as I get my money, man, I don't care.
Alvin was the only offensive player that was like, "Yeah, we suck." Like,
Yo, we're fucking terrible, man. Like, we're pretty fucking terrible, bro. And then it wasn't just, the players. It wasn't just the player. It was some of the games that I saw. The Minnesota game. We went over that one. Jacksonville. Do you know how hard it is for a defense to cause 4 turnovers in one game, 5 turnovers, and still lose? Like, do you understand what you have to do that? Do you understand what you have to do, right? And every time I think about the Jacksonville Jaguar game and Saints game, I think of the mental freshener commercials, man. Because at that point, for the first time in a long time, Brandon, and I'm sorry, it wasn't my team that has to deal with this problem anymore. It's like, what more can I give you, bro? I've given you an offensive line that's pretty damn good. All I heard Raider fans all this year is just wait till he goes to a defense that has a top 10 defense and he's getting into the playoffs. Now here we go again. Oh, he's getting a new offensive coordinator, so now he has to learn a whole new system. Oh, his weapons are leaving. So it's never his fault. And I've had to deal with that for 9 years.
this is why I say also Pete Carmichael screwed up because he didn't use Taysom Hill early in the season like he did late.
Yeah.
Because the reason for Derek Carr coming was because he had people to take the pressure off him. The fact of the matter is you never used Taysom Hill until late in the year. It was like, what was the damn thought process? Like, what were you thinking? Like, what was it? Like, I understand.
I think the process was that we finally have a true quarterback in our locker room, and we can do this now.
But the problem with that was Derek Carr struggled, and you see struggling. The fact of the matter is you never changed out of it, which is the reason why I kept saying fire Pete Carmichael. Now, and it warmed my heart to see people finally on social media being like, "Damn, we need to really fire Pete Carmichael." Duh, I've been saying it for like 2 years.
There was a video that I saw of Dennis Allen and Derek Carr getting booed together
It was awesome. It was so beautiful.
in the Superdome at home.
Doing the Jacksonville game. It was a Jacksonville game.
And I'm just like,
Going in the halftime. Like, they were booing them at the game. And that's the thing. Like, you cannot sit up here and have this. Listen, our fan base has had either a terrible, I've been live for a long time. So I've seen the Saints with Aaron Brooks. I've seen the Saints with Jeff Blake. I've seen the Saints with some shitty quarterbacks.
I totally forgot about Jeff Blake. Holy crap. I totally forgot about him.
Terrible quarterback.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I just forgot he existed at all. Like, oh shit. Yeah. Yeah, we had Aaron Brooks too. Yeah, we had him for a little while too. He wore the Jamarcus Russell number before Jamarcus Russell was a thing. When? Like, you got the Michael Vick off Wish? No, and I just think that it was just weird. I think it has to do a lot with, you know, Look who you put him with. Look who. It must not be easy for Dennis Allen to be like, okay, we're gonna run this one more time, right? Because maybe the first time I was young, when I got hired, I was young. The franchise was sort of in like shambles because, well, the owner just died. We're getting new everything, and I'm the first guy, so probably wasn't the best situation. But now here, we have stability, we have the talent. I just need you to be you, and then we'll be good. But then eventually, it became, well, maybe you is just being too much.
I'm gonna be honest. I wish we would have taken this season. I wish we would have taken this season. I wish we would have got a top 5 pick. Because then we could have dropped a quarterback. And I know people be like, "What? You got that card?" I don't care. We could have drafted a quarterback. We could have done what we were supposed to do for the last couple of years. Draft Patrick Mahomes. Draft Jordan Love. Draft Lamar Jackson. We wouldn't be in this situation where we now are trying to hope and pray that this guy that pretty much has never been the guy, really, can now be the guy. It's like, that's never going to happen again. Look, we struck lightning in the bottle. That was lightning in the bottle when we got Drew Brees. But Drew Brees didn't hit his peak until the later years in LA. With the Chargers. Like, he didn't hit them peaks until they got Phillip Rivers in our offense, like in the house. So Drew Brees didn't hit them until they got Phillip Rivers, and he had to step it up. And then when he got to the Saints, it was just like, oh yeah, he's been that way. But it wasn't. Like there's a reason why they wouldn't go get Phillip Rivers, because they didn't trust Drew Brees was going to be that guy.
Yeah.
And so we got lucky. We got to draft a quarterback, just like you did last night. We got to draft a quarterback at some point. I don't know if this season it would screw up this bad. I don't think we'll have this bad of a season this year because all the expectations not on the team. It's on the
No.
It is on Tampa. And Carolina got to show up. It's like, we're not the
And then that other team we always foreshadow, just whatever, you're there.
We're not the team talked about anymore. Yeah, we could easily have a bad season and then everybody's like, well, that's pretty much what we expected. Or we could just go off and be dominant, which we were supposed to be last year. And everybody be like, I didn't see that coming.
Well, I mean, no, we saw it coming. We're just a year too early. See, I'm glad that we weren't part of the Dragon Ball Z saga for like the time traveling and all that shit, because we'd be like a year late, a year too early. We'd be like, oh shit.
Our picks would be just a year old.
Like just a year off. It's like, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. No, I just think it was time. I just think it's. I will say this. I will say this. To me, the Saints have to make the playoffs this year. Because if you don't, then it's just, we have to face facts. It's probably time to just blow it up. It constantly hurts to have a top 10 defense every year, and you miss it because offensive ineptitude, the offense couldn't get it going until late, but it was too late. There is no excuses for me for the New Orleans Saints this year. It has to be this, or we got to blow it up. And when I mean blow it up, I mean like constructually, everything has to go. Like the Tropicana on April 2nd, just, it's got to go.
Yeah, everything got to go. I mean, listen, I'm with you on the playoffs, but that won't save it. I don't even think winning the playoffs, getting in the playoffs will save this team, because there's nothing to save even if you make the playoffs. You make the playoffs, but then you don't win. What's the point? I've seen that before.
I think they could win one game. I think if they have home field advantage for one game, I know they can. I know they can do it.
Like, the home field advantage hasn't been home field advantage in years. People don't understand. Like, we went to playoffs a couple years ago against Minnesota and we lost to Kirk Cousins. That's the only playoff win Kirk Cousins has ever had. When he went to New Orleans, he beat us in the playoffs.
And it was off a lucky fucking cat. Okay, Stephon Diggs did his thing.
I don't think people understand. It's been a minute since the Saints have really dominated at home. The first home game we had in the pandemic
Yeah.
Home field advantage ain't been home field advantage in years for the Saints. So that dangerous Saints crowd is like that hasn't been there. It hasn't.
Well, I mean, the whistle guy. I mean, he's still there. I like the whistle guy. He's dope as hell.
But the home field advantage Superdome, it hasn't been that in years. And I feel like a lot of people still believe that's what it is. It's not. It's not. You can go in New Orleans and beat them. You can. In the playoffs, you can do it. So it's just, especially if they're not up for the game, because they can just roll with the energy. It's like no.
Right. Yeah. No, that's fair. I just think it's. I just think if they miss it again this upcoming year, it's over. I think saving it. I think you can at least try to win to give something to the fans. You can try to give them something. Maybe a little bit of hope. Maybe the following year you guys can go all in, as teams like to call it nowadays, is go all in, and then try to go for the Super Bowl in 2025. But it,
I'm gonna be honest with you, Mickey Loomis, you better not pull a loose lease need. Yes, if I can fix, I'm not with it. I'm not.
let's need fuck the pick. I'm not with it.
I'm not with it. I don't like it.
You know, Stan Kroenke might have been with it, but I'm not with it.
I'm not with that. I'm not with that.
You know, it's just what. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. So, all right, Brandon, it's go time here. So with the 14th pick here. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we get into that, uh, you guys did lose some people too. Malcolm Roach, as we talked about in Denver a couple episodes, he's now in Denver. Jameis Winston, he's now in Cleveland. Lonnie Johnson, who I was kind of surprised didn't want to stick around, going back to Houston. Good for him. You know, good for him. And then you guys got Chase Young. To pair up with homeboy Cameron Jordan. Cedric Wilson, the wide receiver from Miami, he's now coming. So that's more speed for you guys. And then, of course, everybody's favorite journeyman, Nathan Peterman. Everybody loves Nathan Peterman, bro. Just get over it. All right, everybody. I have never seen a man start his career so bad and still get jobs, like journeyman quarterback jobs. He must have some dirt or some shit. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. A drive. Just say. That's what I'm talking about. Hell, I've seen a drive from Chad Henne. Listen, man, I have seen more drives from Chad Henne, CJ Beathard. So it's like, damn. Like Jarrett Stidham went toe-to-toe with the San Francisco 49ers and almost won. It's just, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. But overall, I think for the Saints, I think it comes to a point now, it's like you really have to take, well, in our scenario, when we're getting to this point of the draft, it really is best player available. So, and whatever it is, it's going to help the team immensely, So, all right, Brandon, here we go. You're first. Who do you have your Saints selecting at pick number 14?
All right. With the 14th selection in the 2024 NFL draft, the New Orleans Saints will select Joel, offensive tackle, Notre Dame. Come on now. You know what's going on.
How the hell did he last 14 picks?
I know. Yeah. Listen, every team could have used him. I'm not going to lie. Every team could have used him. But my team really needs him. We need to fix what we did a couple drafts ago. And this is the name of Mickey Loomis. We're great at picking late. We suck at picking first. The Brian Brees is a good pick, but it was very late.
Well, but I mean, the thing was this. At least when we did the Brian Bruce pick, we're kind of like, hey, New Orleans. We talked about him, and this is why we had him here because he's really good. You might want to use him. Just a thought.
And also, you didn't have to plug him in immediately.
Yeah.
You could use him in special
Now, but the thing with this, and I don't mean to cut you off. The thing with Joel Alt, he has to start immediately.
You got to start immediately.
What up, Black Lion? Yes, it is early day today. You know how it is.
Because they don't have a left tackle.
Well, okay. Eric Penning, God bless his soul, he tried, and it's not working out. Now, when we talked about him, we said, look, plug him at left, plug him at tackle, and if it doesn't work and something better comes along, put him inside. Because that's where he was projected to go anyway, right?
Which Andrews Pete is not there.
Yeah, so there's your replacement right there.
And then you got two, you got some. Now you got Eric McKinney and Eric McCoy, and you got Trevor Penny and Joe Alt. And that will fit perfectly.
And don't forget, Ryan Ramczyk is still there as your right tackle. Sure, he's had a couple injury issues, but you know what? He's still one of the better right tackles in the league.
Yeah, but he might miss this season because of something. They tore his bicep or something. I can't remember.
Oh man, Trevor, that was terrible. Man, that's terrible. I really wanted to pull for the kid because I really thought he had something to prove, and it's just. But the good thing is he can restart his career. He gets a second chance to restart it.
And that's the thing, we forget Cesar Ruiz was supposed to be a center.
He was, but they put him at guard because.
And he's worked as a guard. He sucked as a center. He could not be a center.
But he's a good guard.
But he's a hell of a guard. And that's the thing. I feel like with this team that we have, Joe Alt will fit it perfectly. He will be a left tackle. I don't know what they're going to do with Ryan Ramczyk being injured, being out right now.
Well, I mean, you can always whatever is available free agency. Maybe you're gonna have to do the unforbidden double dip in the draft.
But a lot of times the Saints have messed up with the first pick. Trevor Penny, but we got Chris Olave. So it kind of made sense. It was like, okay, cool. But Peyton Turner, Marcus Davenport.
I don't think they were bad picks. I just think that they just didn't pan out. They just didn't pan out.
It didn't work at the time. And this is why you're going to get a Chase Young because Peyton Turner hasn't played out. He's been injured all the damn time he's been in the league. So
It's crazy to think that Baltimore took a player after you that play the same position, and it's working out in ball. And I'm just like, how? Like how?
But the Saints, they had Joe Alt. Now I don't think Joe Alt going to completely fall.
Now that's what I was going to ask you. In our world, obviously, there's no trading, all right? But in reality, would you have to? I mean, of course, you would have to trade up. But what would you give to trade up for a Joe Alt? Like, what would have to be the deciding factor? Like, what pick or would you think? Are you thinking maybe the Chargers at 5? Are you thinking the Giants at 6? Are you thinking maybe you are going to have to trade with Arizona just to make sure that you get a guaranteed spot? I mean, what are we thinking?
I would look at New England.
You would try to move into the top 3.
I would look at New England because, yeah.
But no, here's the thing. If you're going to move into the top 3 at that point, quarterback has to be in discussion.
Which is very possible. But with this decision, you got to know, we got to look for what we need, not what we want.
Right.
What we need.
Right. Yeah. No. I respect that.
Yeah, what we need is offensive line because now we know Ryan Ramczyk might be out. So now we need an offensive line. We can't just go pick a luxury pick because we just don't like that call.
But if you're going to move up to 3, and here we go again with our debate, wouldn't you want the kid from Penn State to take over the right tackle spot in the meantime?
If he can move to left tackle next year.
Well, yeah, sure he can.
So, and then that is the case, then we're having a whole different conversation. But if the kid is already gone, let's say they don't get to 3, they move to, let's say, 5 or 6, and he's gone already. Or Tennessee.
In Tennessee, yeah, of course.
And Atlanta's not going to take an offensive lineman. So you call Chicago. You're like, yo, Chicago, what are you really going to do with offensive lineman?
Because I can give you one.
If we trade back, we give you Cesar Ruiz. If you need a guard, why not?
I just think that would be too much. I think for me, it's you want to try to solve a problem by trading away a problem, right? And I think that's too much. I think for me, 14. Now here's the thing: 14-9 is not a bad deal. It's really not a bad deal because Chicago's going to get what they want, and they still get to get their needs figured out in 14.
And if that is the case, if we trade Marshawn Lattimore,
Or be honest with yourself. You can look at the Jets. You can look at the Jets. You can be like, "Yo, what do you want for the number 2 corner?" Pair him up with Marshawn Lattimore. Because again, he's had issues, and we've seen Reader, the corner from the Jets. He's more than capable of being a number 2 corner. So not a bad deal. I just think for the Saints to get an offensive lineman, you could have gone. Now you could stay here, and let's say there's no trade. You're still going to have your choice at offensive lineman at 14. It's just if you really want to secure like Joel Alt, you have to go in. So it's just one of those things. 14-4 is not bad, and that's the thing, right? Arizona always seems like they're not in love with anybody, but then it's like they love the pick. It's Arizona's just a weird. They're bipolar when it comes to the draft. We don't like these. We don't like the prospects. I'm just kidding. Come here, buddy.
we're just fucking watching.
Yeah. So now is it a possibility, Brandon? Maybe at 14, maybe you could have taken the center from Oregon, and like Lionheart just said right now, taking the kid from Oregon,
Well, we already got a center.
right? But you could plug in my guard too.
Yeah. We don't really need guards. That's the thing, right? We don't need
It's hard. It's hard to fix the Saints because I know what the Saints need, but it's gonna be hard to
get it done.
get it done because something has to give, right?
Yeah, so they got to get.
So I think that's gonna be hard. But I like the pick. Don't get me wrong. If you guys can somehow manage to walk away with Joel Alt, oh dude, I'll give you a hug. I'll be like, oh, thank God you finally got a left tackle. Thank God. Like, oh, thank God. That's all you guys have been missing for a while. Is like, thank God. Like, oh my God. And here's the thing: you'll be your left tackle for years to come. Like, let's be serious, right? Like, let's be serious, right? Yeah. So you're good. Okay. So I did look at your roster too. Um, yeah, the offensive line kind of concerned me. The secondary kind of concerned me, but not as much. There was one group where I looked at it and I'm like, "Hi, Chihuahua, we got to get some help. We got to get some help." Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, buddy. Listen, I love Chris Olave. I love Rashid Rice. And I do. Cedric Wilson, hey, fine asset. Stanley Morgan and AJ Pepke. Look, man. I thought Stanley Morgan was like a lawyer commercial.
It sounds like
You know what I mean?
it sounds like it. I'm not gonna
Like, is this for real? Is this for real?
Yeah, it sounds like it does.
So, Brandon, I can't get you an offensive lineman here as much as I want to. Because the offensive linemen that are left on the board for me, I don't want to risk the same thing that happened to Eric Penning. Now I can get you one in the second round if it'll make you feel better. But right now, I'm going to give you an ultimate weapon right here. So, with the 14th pick in this year's draft, in my world, the New Orleans Saints select Rome Odunze, wide receiver, Washington. You already know. I told you you're going to like this pick, man. I told you were going to like this pick, bro. I told you were going to like this pick. What can I say about him, dude? Consensus All-American in 2023, two-time first team All Pac-12, 2 years in a row. Finished the year with 96 receptions, 1,640 yards, 13 touchdowns. I thought he should have won the Fred Biletnikoff Award this year too, but hey, to each his own, right? To each his own. Listen, Chris Olave, Romo Luzun, two totally different wide receivers, but two receivers that can fit in this offense with your new offensive coordinator that you guys just hired. Chris Olave will be the route runner. He will be your number one. He will be the man to get the separation, take the safeties over the top, all that good stuff. Now with room, okay, now that's a good one too. That's a good one too. To trade down, get an extra second, maybe draft the Thomas Jr. I'm sure you would love that though. Would you, Brad? Thomas Jr.?
We don't really like LSU receivers. We don't like LSU players, which is great and shit. We don't draft LSU players.
You just guys like LSU receivers. There's a difference.
We don't draft LSU receivers. We don't get an LSU like that.
Yeah, I never understood why. I mean, you see them. We're like, we're just like, Now, I will say this. With Rome Odunze, he will be your number two. He will be your possession guy, right? But he's more than just a possession guy. His route running is not as good as Chris Olave, but I'm not saying it's entirely worse either. He will make the tough catches, though. That's something that you guys have been missing for a while. He will make the tough catches. He will get the 50-50 balls. And in a conference now that is, let's face it, it's going to be bombarded with corners and secondary here pretty soon. Tampa Bay secondary improved. The Carolina Panthers are going to improve that secondary, and they have been trying to improve that. The Falcons are doing their thing. You're going to need a number two. Now, all this could free up, Alvin Kamara, Jawan Johnson, and, they can have monster years. But Rome Odunze, I think here would be your free up man. He would maybe not get the attention like a Chris Olave would, but after a certain time, people will be like, hey, we really got to watch out because it's a dangerous 1-2 combo. And plus, whether it's for Derek Carr or the quarterback of your future down the road, at least your next quarterback can come in and say one thing. Damn, I got a nice 1-2 combo at wide receiver that I can work with. So I got to go with Rome here. See, I told you were going to like the pick, man.
I don't like the idea of getting a receiver at 14 because it's awesome. And if he's there and Joe Alder isn't, then do it. I would definitely agree with it. Do it. Because I agree. We do need a number two. We need a guy that we can trust that isn't just a take the top off of the defense type of receiver. We need another Chris Olave kind of where they can get in the middle of the field, just stay there and stand their ground. But yeah, I mean, for the Saints, we're gonna win anywhere. I mean, let's be real. We could have done anything. We could have got a defensive tackle. We could have taken care of Texas.
But I don't think that was such a huge need at this point.
It's not, but we can do it. I mean, you'd be surprised. I'd be like, I get it. Like,
you can't go back. Well, I mean, you can, but it's just like, oh, really? Brian Brees and Brian Murphy is going to be your defensive tackles forever? Like, this is bullshit.
Like I said, offensive line, you pretty much need offensive guard, tackle. You need something offensive line-wise, and then you definitely need a number two. And I think that's what they're going to attack in the draft. That's the first, I think, 3 or 4 picks in the draft. I know we got to consider it's already picked. I don't know when.
Yeah, you got an extra one for sure. So
Yeah,
it's just one of those things. I think for the Saints, it's really just a matter of trying to fix that offense. And I think that's where we have to agree. It's like, listen, I know you guys finished, 9th. And it's like, well, how hard is it to fix it? Like, what do you mean fix the top 10 offense? No, it still needs some fixings. I could see your team being very heavy favorite for offensive players. Yeah.
This draft is going to be full think it's gonna be all awful.
Now, do I expect it to be like where Carolina took all defense that 1 year? No, I don't think so. But again, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. So.
Like I said, Mickey Loomis is good at picking players late in the draft. He sucks at the first.
Do you think he should maybe wait for the offensive players at the end? Because just in case, be on the safe side, you know? Oh, man. Okay, so that's pick 14. Brandon went with Joel Alt. I went with Robo Duzane. So you'd let me know in the comments what you guys think. But now we're going to move on to the Indianapolis Colts here. The Colts, after finishing 9-8, have the 15th pick, have the 10th best offense, and the 28th defense. And this was sort of a weird year. So Anthony Richardson was their first round pick last year. And I was a little, I don't know, man. This is kind of weird. It's not like I didn't like Anthony Richardson. It's just like, you sure you want to shoot for this now? At 14, Brian Murphy, Nate Wiggins. I mean,
Are you the kid from UCLA? You really want to pass for sure?
Yeah, I mean,
because Chase Young, we don't know what the hell Chase Young is going to be. We don't know. His neck could be really messed up. We don't know. So we could go with the kid.
the meme world did him dirty when they did the whole. Meme world did him still dirty, but no. So Anthony Richardson was the fourth pick, and I was a little skeptical. I mean, well, not as skeptical as you because you had him number 1 last year, not because of talent, or because of the situation, which probably would have been better. But here's the thing: Gardner Minshew led the team. He took over, and he did a good enough job to at least keep Indianapolis in, right? I mean, 3,305 yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interception. Not stellar numbers, but again, good enough to keep your team fighting, But Anthony Richardson in 4 games had 577 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception to go along with 136 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. That was 4 games before his season ended prematurely. Overall, 7 total touchdowns in 4 games. Thank God for CJ. Yes. Thank God for CJ. I will say this for Anthony Richardson going into the Colts and trying to see how he can get his groove. There's a little bit of hope there. If you're a Colts fan today, you have to have a little bit of hope, right? You have to have a little bit of hope that 1, can he progress, and 2, can he learn to take care better of himself, right? If you're a Colts fan. Zach Moss did his thing. I know Jonathan Taylor came in late, and he was right there, but Zach Moss did his thing with 794 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns to go along with 27 receptions, 192 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Michael Pittman is going to be staying for long term now. After 109 receptions, 1,152 yards, and 4 touchdowns, he is going to be staying long term for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, on the defensive side, Zaire Franklin, we all know and love, true tackling machine. Second year in a row, I think this is where he had like over 150 plus in tackles. We had 179 combined. So here we go again. No questions there. Samson Ubukam from the 49ers to come to the Colts, led the team in sacks with 9.5, and Julian Blackmon, 4 interceptions. So all this is great, and you felt good for the Colts because they were in it. But I think something was missing. Brandon, what was missing from the Colts last year? What happened with the Colts?
It's not really inconsistent. You're right. It was like a little bit up and down. You didn't know what the Colts were. You at the beginning of the season with Jonathan Taylor wasn't even there. And then he was. And then he got signed. And you're like, what the hell was the problem during the offseason? Like, he did all this in the offseason. What is going on?
And that's the thing, right? Like, it's already hard in the NFL to win alone. It's hard in the NFL to win with distractions. Because I can't imagine the players going, What do you think about the whole, Jonathan Taylor situation? And I can imagine the players going like, "Listen, that's not my business. I'm just trying to focus on winning right now." And that's it has to be a little hard to win with distractions, right? Like,
I mean, we didn't get the Sean McDermott
oh, Shane Exton. Oh, I'm very concerned. Yeah, we didn't get that.
I'm very concerned. I'm very worried.
We didn't get that. We didn't. We did not get that.
We didn't get that. But it just didn't make sense. Like, what was going on? What's going on? Like, the Colts felt very inconsistent. I mean, after Anthony Richardson went down, it was kind of like, okay, what are the Colts? What are the Colts? And the Colts kind of had an old Colts season, right? Where they kind of like they're not bad, but they're not good. They're like in the middle. And when you have seasons like that, we don't know really what you are. They could win the division, but you could also have been the worst team in the NFL. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Like,
No. Those types of teams, we start getting to the Saints and the Colts and tomorrow teams and the teams that missed the playoffs. They're like, okay, they could have made the playoffs and they could have been literally in the top 10 of draft picks. We don't know really what this team is. And it kind of feels like that with the Colts. I don't know what to make of the Colts. When you ask me that season, I don't know of it. Like, because we don't know. If Anthony Richardson was healthy, I think they actually would take the division. And I think it's by a wide margin.
I think it would have been by a wide margin. I think Houston would have secured a wild card spot.
That's the thing. I think Houston would have been in the wild card, but I don't think they would.
And here's the thing too. I still think at that point, knowing what we know now, I think Houston still would have taken the division because CJ Stroud is the better quarterback than Anthony Richardson. Like, let's just be real.
True, but Anthony Richardson brings something to the table that CJ Stroud doesn't.
Mobility, athleticism.
And that's the thing, because now he would have got better with the passing at some point during the season. So he would have had more chemistry with the receivers. So I think the Colts would have won the division. I do. I really do believe that. I believe because they were already winning with him. And he wasn't that great of a passer.
Yeah.
He didn't have that chemistry down pat with everybody. So imagine being healthy for the entire year. And having the chemistry with Mike.
And that's the thing. I hope Anthony Richardson, because Anthony Richardson deserves a shot to at least see what he can do, right? Yeah, that's the thing. They weren't. To me, I don't think they weren't winning the division either. But I will say this: the way the Colts looked, it would have been damn interesting. It would have been damn interesting to see what Anthony Richardson could do with the Colts.
I think they would have won at least 1 or 2 more games more than the Texans. I think the Texans make the playoffs regardless.
So you're in your heart, you would have thought that the Colts would have won the division. Ah, man, and you know what? And the beauty thing about it is like the Colts and the Texans are in the same division, so I hope they stay healthy to see Anthony Richardson versus CJ Stroud. Like, yeah, see, celebration, woo! How did you do that? But it's just, I think to me when it comes to the Colts, I think it's a confusing team, like you mentioned. You don't know where they're bad at because they have they had an amazing 1-2 combo at running back. The receivers were getting it. The offensive line was picking up. The defense, yeah, had issues, of course. But I don't think they were as bad. Now, statistically, yeah, it looks terrible. But I don't think they were as bad as people want to put it out to be. I just think it's one of those things where if Anthony Richardson can't stay healthy, then we'll see. I think I'm still in the listen. 4 games has made me believe, okay, maybe this kid can work because like I said, I truly felt Anthony Richardson is like, listen, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to go in the first round. It's just understand the situation. He just became the starter in Florida. He had 1 year starting time. Yeah, the flashes are there, but they're not consistent. I think Anthony Richardson was better off, maybe going to a team where we have a quarterback, but we can groom him to be our quarterback. You know what I mean? Like an Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love type of deal. It could be that type of situation, you know? And I just think to me right now, for Anthony Richardson, I hope he stays healthy because I do want to see that. I do want to see the CJ Stroud versus Anthony Richardson. But yeah, in my mind, no doubt in my mind, the Houston, knowing what I know now, the Houston Texans are the best team in that division.
The reason why I say that is because, yeah, did he go to the right situation? Probably not. But did he go to the right head coach?
I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely went to the because people don't remember Shane Exton was the offensive coordinator for Philadelphia. Guess who he vouched for? Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has sort of regressed, and Anthony Richardson made us a believer in 4 games because this guy knows how to work with mobility quarterbacks. So, and that's the thing, right situation? No. Now, did he get the right guy for him? Probably so.
And that's why I think that people now, like, that's why I said, same thing like Brian Davis. The first year he got to the New York Giants, Daniel Jones got $45 million after that season.
For throwing 15 touchdowns. See, here's the thing. At least when we sign quarterbacks that throw for 15 touchdowns, we only give them like a 2-year minimum.
What did he say?
But I will say this: when it comes to Anthony Richardson, he has a funny chance to be the second best quarterback in that division, and CJ Stroud could be the first.
We forget that Anthony Richardson went to a good head coach, a coach that pretty much kind of kept Jalen Hurts' flaws from showing.
The only thing with Anthony Richardson is he likes to play dangerously. I think he has to realize you can't play like that here.
And I think that's something that he's going to have to kind of try to dial back. But even in that sense, he got a good head coach, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to put him in any situation that's going to mess the team up.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But the thing is this: the thing is this: we have to see, right? Because I already saw CJ Stroud 1 year. I have to see what that is.
We knew CJ Stroud was going to do that.
Yeah, of course. Now, did I expect them to be as successful as quickly as they became? No. But I knew CJ Stroud was going to be the best quarterback in that draft class.
We knew CJ Stroud was going to do that. We both had CJ Stroud going with that quarterback one. We won.
Well, I mean, I have CJ Stroud going 1 to Carolina.
I had Anthony Richardson going one because of how bad Carolina looked. And I saw it before they even did. I was like, yeah, this isn't going to work. They need Anthony Richardson to be the guy. But I had CJ Stroud going 2 because I knew he was going to end up 2. I'm like, he's going to end up in Houston. Why would the hell would we sit here and play like Bryce Young is great? Like, I've seen Bryce Young. I know he ain't that damn guy. I know he wasn't that guy. Because I have him going all the way to 16 to Washington. See, Washington could have Bryce Young and not even. I'm just saying. But
Ooh, is CJ Stroud a top 5 quarterback right now?
I think he is.
Huh?
Is he the top 5? Is CJ is the top 5? Oh, he said he is.
Is he top 5 right now? It's hard. It's very hard.
Is it?
If he does it again, if he has another year like he did last year, yeah, I'll have no problem.
He's fine.
It's just hard because what are we looking at? Okay, we're looking at obviously Patrick Mahomes, right? We're looking at Lamar Jackson. We're looking at Lamar Jackson. We're looking at Joe Burrow, and I know Joe Burrow was hurt last year, but he has proven that he is that dude.
You got the same as I got right now. Yeah.
Josh Allen, we could look at him at 4. I could look at Josh Allen's okay. Like, put it like this. He's a good quarterback. It's just the rest of the team is not willing to put the time.
I can't put Josh Allen forward. I can't even put Josh Allen in my top 5. Like that
That's debatable. That would hurt. that's a little hard.
I can't put him. And the reason why I say I can't put him in my top five is because when it comes to clutch time, you don't do nothing. You don't show up.
That's true. That's true.
So it's like it's hard for me to put you in the top five when you don't show up when you need to.
And he is turnover prone. I can admit that. But I mean, think about it. He has to do everything for the offense, though.
But that's his damn problem. Not like, bro, you have a running game.
You have yeah. I think it's just hard because listen, I'm not saying like the Bills are great. Like no, but Josh Allen, the quarterback, it's debatable. I'm trying to think who else could be out there that. I mean,
Okay, we talk about AFC.
no, we're talking about the whole NFL. But the problem is in the AFC, it looks like, you know,
Now we talk about the whole NFL. Then to me, yeah, we talk about even in that sense because to me it's Patrick Mahomes,
okay,
is Lamar,
okay.
is Joe Burrow. You gotta have somebody from the NFC. To me personally, is Jordan Love.
I don't think he's top five right now.
Jordan
I'd rather have Josh Allen and Jordan Love right now. Now, if you come back to me in a couple of years and Josh Allen still keeps doing what he's doing and Jordan Love keeps improving, then yeah, I'll take Jordan Love.
I'm always first to do these things. See, you always say it's a year later. I'm telling you now, Jordan.
But yeah, no. Is Love better than CJ Stroud? No. CJ Stroud's way. I think CJ Stroud right now is a better quarterback talent than Jordan Love. But Jordan Love is proven in his own right than to prove it.
My thing is this. For me,
Now, here's the thing, though. Here's going to be a controversial one. What about Brock Purdy?
my Purdy's in the system. I can't put him.
You can't do it?
I can't. He can't do it outside of the 49ers. I truly believe. I don't think he can do it outside of the 49ers.
But see, that's the thing. It's not his fault that he went to a really well team.
It's not his fault, but it's also what you look like in the team. If I put you in Pittsburgh, or I'll put you with the work. If I put you in Washington, can you do that? Dysfunction all around you. Can you do that?
I mean, no, it wouldn't be dysfunction because he would still have a great running game. He would still have Terry McLaurin. He would still have that.
But you don't have the offensive mind like Kyle Shanahan. You don't have.
And we don't know that yet. We don't know that yet.
Brian Robinson is great. Brian Robinson is good. He ain't Chris McCaffrey. We know that.
Well, and of course we know that, but we don't know if Callahan is not a good offensive mind yet. We know he's a good offensive coordinator. We just don't know if he's a good offensive mind yet.
Here's the thing. Like we've been saying, you take Trent Williams off that offensive line, and Brock Purdy immediately goes into the 7th pick of the draft. He's the last pick of the draft. You take Trent Williams off that offensive line, he is immediately the last pick of the draft. You see it immediately. Like, my God.
Now I can admit that, yeah, he had a stretch where he had bad games. I can admit that.
And that's the thing.
But I mean, he's still, granted or not, with that talent, they still were able to get the number one seed. And that's the thing, right? To get that seed, to be the best team in your conference.
That's awesome. He got in the playoffs, and that's awesome. Super Bowl time came, and what happened?
He missed, I can admit, he missed some throws. But there was also a lot of components too. His kicker had missed an extra point again. Christian McCaffrey fumbled in the first drive.
I will go back to the Christmas Day game against Baltimore. Everybody's healthy.
Yeah, everybody was healthy. I can admit that.
You showed us who you are. That to me is who you are. Sorry. That's who you are.
It's just, man, I don't know. It's just, now don't get me wrong. I like Jordan Love too because I think we've been pretty much advocates for him the last couple of years because it's like, listen, if you really want to see what Jordan Love is, you have to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, right?
Even in that conversation, like there's a conversation we had that Jordan Love isn't the best quarterback in the NFC North. I can literally sit up there and make a case for Jared Goff. I can make a case for him.
You can.
So it's like, but to me, we're talking about, because I'm always a year, like you always say, I'm a year ahead of people. I told y'all Justin Jefferson after his rookie year was the best wide receiver in the league. Y'all like, I don't know about that.
I just have to see it. Like, I have to make sure it's consistent, though. I don't, because I'm not one of those, like, okay, it's caught up in the moment. Like, no, it has to be consistent.
I'm telling you, my five to me is literally Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud, John Lynch.
And I respect that list. I really do. I really do.
Because and maybe Jalen Hurts, if Jalen Hurts can get back to where he was.
Okay, let's. Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. He was an MVP conversation last year, so I just think I'm willing to give him a pass. The year before, so we'll see.
Which goes back into the Colts. Because they're the offensive coordinator, who's not a coach and coach.
Right, and I think that's where Anthony Richardson, and this is where it all gets tied up to Anthony Richardson, is if he listens and doesn't play hero ball. Again, please don't do that, because I actually enjoyed watching him 4 games. Yeah, he went 2-2 as a starting quarterback, but do you understand, like, how hard it is to come in and be like, dude, we have no expectations for you? Like, as a matter of fact, Colt fans, NFL fans around were like, dude, you're going to be the first bust out of everybody. And in 4 games, he looked a lot better than Bryce. you know? So, I mean, I will say this, though. I think for Anthony Richardson, if he works with the head coach, which he has the chance to do, yeah, the Colts might have found something. But he has to be the head coach. You know what I mean?
I cannot put Aaron Rodgers in no top 5. That dude is so fucking broken. It's not even fucking funny. I don't even know if he's focusing on football anymore. That's the reason why I can never put him in my top 5.
I don't know where his mind's at right now. It's a little weird. It's a little. I have never heard of it. The only time we heard of Aaron Rodgers was like the dispute with Green Bay when it was close to training camp, but that was it. But now I hear him like more and more in the off season, and I'm just kind of like, man, like what's up with this dude? You know, like I hope, like, one, I hope he's okay, because I know ACLs are no fun, but my guy, you gotta calm down, like like you gotta calm down with this whole Pat McAfee show. It's a lot right now. I think it's a lot for Aaron Rodgers, and I'm just kind of like, I've never heard him talk like this before. I don't know what's going on. It's just weird to me. But I think for the Colts, what we're looking at is a situation where if it works out, can they overtake the Jaguars? Can they overtake the Texans? I'm not worried about the Titans right now, because the Titans have they have their own issues. Okay, they have to figure themselves out.
Did you say can they overtake the Jaguars? Are you kidding me? They've already taken the Jaguars.
But can they do it again? Because here's the thing. Again, here's the thing. The offense for Jacksonville kind of downplayed from the year before, right? But the Jaguars still have a really nice defense. They do. I think the AFC South got harder. Now, I will say this. I think the Jaguars blew it, because now that the AFC South is getting harder, like we said last year, it was the Jaguars' division to lose, because and they lost it. And now we're here a year later going, oh man, like it's only gonna get harder from here. So something's got to give. So I don't know. I just think for the Colts, I like the progression that they're going to go with. And listen, they didn't do much in free agency. Yeah, we already know that they lost Gardner Minshew. Yeah, we knew that they lost Zach Moss, and we knew that they lost Isaiah McKenzie. But the thing is, they have Anthony Richardson, they have Jonathan Taylor, and they have Michael Pittman. So it's not like they lost. Yeah, you lost depth. Okay, you lost depth. Free agency wise, you bring in Joe Flacco, who I think is going to be a great teacher for Anthony Richardson. Like, hey, don't do this, do this. He's going to be a great. He came off the couch and led the Browns to the playoffs. That's some crazy shit, bro. It's just he looks weird without the beard now. He looks weird. Like, he looks like 20 years younger. so weird. It's so weird. And then Raekwon Davis, the defensive tackle for Miami's just losing defensive players left and right. I did not notice that until I started like digging back and I'm like, they are losing defensive players, like they are losing a lot of defensive players. I did not know that. But no, I'll be honest with you. I think if Anthony Richardson gets right, then I think the sky's the limit for the Indianapolis Colts. That I think by next year, by this time this upseason, we won't be talking about them like, oh, they got to do this, they got to do that. I could see them like, hey, they could be competing for a division with Houston for a chance, or at worst, maybe a wild card. Because you can't regress here. You have to move forward now. It would suck if they regressed, because then it's like, oh, then the doubters are going to come in. Was Anthony Richardson the right choice? And it's like, ah, shit. So I don't know. Any last words, Brandon, before we make our picks?
I feel like the season is the Colts season is hindering on Anthony Richardson. Really, like you said, it's hindering on him. If he's healthy and he can play, we might see something in the Colts that we haven't seen in a minute.
In a very long time.
It's dangerous until it's healthy.
I mean, it's just one of those things. Now, here's the thing. I believe in Houston winning this division wholeheartedly, because they can only get better from here at this point. They can only get better from here. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, I hope we get Anthony Richardson versus CJ Stroud, and they're both healthy. Both teams are healthy enough to where it's like, man, this is going to be a good game. That would be dope. That would be dope. That would be dope. I would like that too. So we'll see. We'll see. But all right, Brandon, it's go time, my man. Who do you have the Colts selecting at pick number 15?
With the 15th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts will select. Troy Fatu, offensive guard, Washington.
All right.
Listen, I like that the Colts roster. I'm like, yeah, you go corner here, but you get a corner late. You go, receiver. But you get a receiver late. You need offensive line, man. Good God Almighty. You need offensive line help. You need a guard. You need somebody that can help. And you got one of the best guards in Quentin Nelson. Why not go get another one?
Why not? Double dip, motherfucker. Why not?
Because, yes, Anthony Richardson is the key, but Jonathan Taylor getting open running lanes is also very
Is also the key, right? Yeah.
It's very freaking important. And as much as you need a lot of things, just like I said, just like the Saints, it's like you can go anywhere in this draft, but you gotta stick to it. You gotta stick to it. And I feel like with the offensive line of the Colts, as much as you were good last year, Gardner Minshew got hit a couple times. If you go back into that Carolina Panthers game, he got hit a lot in that game. Like a lot in that game.
He did. He did.
He should have got tagged that much in that game. That was Carolina had nothing to play for, and they were hitting the hell out of Gardner Minshew the entire game. Like it was ridiculous. Even in the last game of the season against the Texans, when they were starting to get to Gardner Minshew, he felt the pressure. It wasn't good. So
Yeah.
for me, you don't get the best offensive lineman outside of the kid from Penn State in Notre Dame. You said it when you picked him earlier in the draft process. He fits. He fits the offensive line. Wherever he goes, he's going to fit immediately. And with one of the best offensive linemen in Quentin Nelson already there, you also got one of the best centers, even though he hasn't kind of lived up to it just yet. You still got a good center. And I think that, and then you add another guard. Now, the outside tackles, I don't know what you do with them. Maybe you move Will Fries into the left side or right side, depending on what you want to do with it. But you got to go get an offensive lineman, secure that interior. And yeah, I know. I picked two offensive linemen in this today. It's so weird. It shouldn't be.
I'm rubbing off on you, man. I'm rubbing off on you, bro.
It's so weird. But yeah, just go get the offensive lineman, man. I knew it's like biting a bullet. It's not a sexy pick. It's not a cool pick. It's not a receiver.
It never is. Trust me. When you pick offensive lineman, it's never a sexy pick. It's never a sexy pick.
But I promise you this: Anthony Richardson gonna be looking around. If he plays more than 4 games because you got a better offensive line around him, you're gonna be like, "Thank you." I appreciate that pick. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and listen, I had him earlier. I already have him off my board. He's in he's out there, so he's good. Yeah, he's gone. I think so. I think I took him ninth. I think I took him to Chicago. So I mean, you don't think whoever the new quarterback is like, oh sweet, I get protection early, awesome, like sweet. Look, I like Troy Fuatano. Yeah, he played left tackle in Washington, but he's going to be more projected as a guard, and that's not a bad thing. He's going to be an all-pro at a guard at some point. And I think what it is, he would really help this team a lot. He would help because he would be that dude to pretty much like the running game. It's going to be fine. Protection and passing game, he's going to be fine because he can pull. He can play up front. He's fine. He can create the holes. If you don't believe me, watch his film at Washington opening the holes for the running game. Like he was out there. I like that pick, man. It feels bad because I have him a little bit earlier. So, now we know where we stand. It's like 9 to 14 is like his range. You know what I mean? Like, damn, that's doesn't look like a lot, but that's a lot of spaces in between. So, all right, so here we go. I looked at this roster too. Yeah, I thought offensive lineman, but I thought exactly like you did. This class is pretty deep and actually pretty talented. That I think you can get one in the second. Wide receiver, I think you can try to make something work in the third if you wanted to. You can stretch it. But what's the drop off? Like, what's the talent drop off? Because when we're talking about wide receivers, we're talking about bam, 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 right? We're talking about do. When we're talking about offensive linemen, we're going bam, 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 same thing. Then when we get to, and this is where it got me, I looked at the secondary and I said, okay, Kenny Moore came back. Okay, great. Who's opposite of him? No idea who that is. No clue. None. Couldn't tell you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Couldn't tell you. And then you look at the secondary, it's like, okay, maybe this guy, maybe this guy, maybe this guy. And then maybe you sneak one in. I think the Colts could have to fix their offense because, yeah, there is some things to fix on offense. And I know it's very weird to say. They finished 10th in offense. And it's very weird, but they still have to fix it. But I think their defense needs a little bit more help than the offense right now. Because we're heading into a division now where DeAndre Hopkins is still there. Okay, that's DeAndre Hopkins in Tennessee. Texans have Tank Dell and Nico Collins. So that's already 2 teams. The Jaguars, well, that means you do what you can, right? Like, you do what you can with the Jaguars. You do what you can. Gabriel Davis and homeboy who resetted the market a couple years ago. And that's the thing, Calvin Ridley is with Tennessee too now. So Kenny Moore can't be everywhere, right? As good as I love Kenny Moore, and he's a really good corner, he can't be everywhere. I think he needs a partner, and I think he needs a partner in crime. So here we go. With the 15th pick in this year's draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Nate Wiggins, cornerback, Clemson. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's no secret. it's no secret. He's my number two corner. You know, he's my number two corner, but I think he would fit in the Gus Bradley system. Because Gus Bradley, he loves the long, lanky corners. He likes the long, lanky corners, twitchy, and all that stuff. You don't believe me? Look at the corners he had when he was the defensive coordinator now for the Colts, and when he was the defensive coordinator for the Raiders. I think the smallest dude we had on our team at that point was 5'9", and he was on special teams. Okay. The second shortest dude after that was 6 foot. So he likes long, lanky corners, and this is perfect for him. 6'2", 185 pounds, first team All ACC, 26 tackles, 1 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions. Now, a lot of people are going to look at the interceptions for a corner, right? Because that's a misconception that we get a lot of things nowadays. It's like, well, he only had 2 interceptions. How come he didn't have more if he was such a great corner? Because nobody wants to challenge him.
Nobody tried him.
Miami tried, and he picked it off for a pick 6. Drake May tried, and he got picked off for a pick 6. Don't try him. Don't do it.
And even if the receiver catches the ball, he forced 2 forced fumbles.
So it's now. Here's the thing about this is the reason I had him as my number 2, because when it comes to the run game, he's not going to get in there because of his frame. He's not going to get in there, but I don't need him in the run game. I have Zaire Franklin, Samson Ebukam, and I can try to figure out with my safety letter because Justin Blackmon is a free agent. I need him to cover. I need him to cover the Calvin Ridleys, the Treylon Burks, the Nico Collins, the Tank Dells. I need him to cover those guys. The Christian Kirks. I need him to cover those guys. The Gabe Davises, because the passing game is going to be very eccentric in this division. It's going to be very eccentric for a lot of these teams to get the passing game going. And I need another guy who I can trust opposite of veteran Kenny Moore. Yeah, he's going to have his rookie mistakes. What rookie doesn't? But I think if you put him in with the Gus Bradley system, I think he would fit. And I think he's exactly what the Indianapolis Colts need, is another guy to cover, essentially. And down the road, he could be better than Kenny Moore. Like, that's the reality. That's the reality you're pushing for, right? You want him to be better than Kenny Moore, which is very hard to do because Kenny Moore is such a talented fucking corner. But you want him to be up to the level of Kenny Moore. So I have no problem with Nate Wiggins here. I think Nate Wiggins, to me, here would fit perfectly with the Gus Bradley system, and go from there. Go from there. You could stretch the wide receiver to the third round, and then you can try to get offensive linemen in the second round. But I think if you get Nate Wiggins here, I know it doesn't help you in your front 7, but in your back end, it could help you. So I'm gonna go with Nate Wiggins here.
I mean, listen. I picked Nate Wiggins last night. so 2 picks later, it don't matter to me. I mean, 2 picks later doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, cornerback wise, I feel like it don't feel like last year with the receivers, right? After the one receiver gets drafted, you're like, oh wait, I gotta get a cornerback, and then you're gonna go
Right.
and that's how it would probably be.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. And that's why, I have Arnold, higher than Wiggins. I do. But the thing is, I don't think Arnold could fit in the Gus Bradley system. I don't think so. Because Nate Wiggins is more patient. He's more patient. And that's what Gus Bradley's looking for. He's looking for patience. And then Arnold sometimes over kind of shoots it, which helped him become one of the better corners in the NFL draft. But this isn't college. This is going to be the NFL where they're going to trick you. They're going to bait you. And I think Arnold just wouldn't fit with the Gus Bradley system. I just don't. Not to say that Arnold can't play in the NFL, just not for Gus Bradley. Anybody but Gus Bradley. Anybody but Gus Bradley. That's the thing. Anybody but him. Anybody but him. Patrick Graham? Sure. Dennis Allen? Hell yeah. But anybody. D'Amico Ryans? Yeah, hell yeah. Anybody but Gus Bradley, because Gus Bradley has a system in place on how he wants his secondary to look. That's the thing. And the reason I know this is because he used to be my defensive coordinator, and I saw it. So, not that Arnold can't play. It's just not for Gus Brad. I don't want to ruin his. I don't want him to get off to a rocky start. That's the thing. So,
I mean, Arnold, listen, like I said last night, I actually think Kool-Aid better. That's me. I think
McKinstry, yeah, Kool-Aid McKinstry.
I think he's better. I think if the injury doesn't happen, I think he clearly is the better cornerback out of Alabama, and I think he goes before Arnold. But because of the foot injury that he has,
It's a little. It's a little.
he's a little iffy.
It's a little right? It's a little oof.
Like you're probably gonna take him maybe second, third round, which is why I feel like the coach can, like you just said, this is a wide array of corners and defensive backs, but I don't know. This is gonna be an interesting draft, and that's why Nick Wiggins was my first cornerback off the board. I do believe he, as bad as Clemson was last year, his team still didn't try. Like, that tells you a lot. Like, as bad as Clemson was, the team still wasn't like, yeah, I'm going to throw it on his side no matter what. Like, that makes a good cornerback. that makes a good cornerback. No matter how bad your defense was, people was like, we can throw it anywhere else but his side.
And that's sort of the thing, right? Like anywhere but his side.
That tells you a lot. Same thing like with Joey Porter Jr. It was like in Penn State, like, if we can go anywhere except his side. I don't care where you throw the ball, just not on his side. That's what makes a good cornerback. Because like you said, like I said last night, the 2 picks, like people probably look at that and be like, really? But the pass deflections, I think he had like 6.
Something like that, yeah.
6 pass deflections. Like it's like try it. Go ahead and try. Like if you feel that foggy, then do what you gotta do, see what happens. It might not end well. I just feel like it's not gonna end well, and that's the thing.
And that's the thing. I get it. I mean, is his frame? And I mentioned his frame. Is it bad? But I don't need him to be a run stopping corner. I don't need him to tackle. I need him to cover, and he's the better man cover corner. Now, is he overall the better corner in the draft? No, but he's probably the better cover corner, in my opinion. So it's just one of those things. Again, it's just, yeah, could I put the kid from Missouri? But I'm not taking him in the first round. And who's to say that you could probably get him in the second round? I went off of it because you have to strike where you can get in.
And it's kind of why I didn't also take, this is why I didn't also take, I didn't take a cornerback here because I'm like the Colts are going to get a cornerback, but it might be like Cooper DeJean in the second round. Because I think Cooper might fall out because of.
Well, I mean, there's also Cooper DeJean. There's also the kid from Missouri. Like you mentioned, the kid from Alabama who could fall out of the first round. But do you want to risk that? That's a lot of picks.
Yeah, but depending on how the draft is looking, it feels like it's going to be more offense in the first round. Maybe I'm just looking at it differently, but it feels like offense is going to be the first round. A lot of teams need offense in the first round. It's not that many teams that need a decisive defensive player.
And that's the thing too. It's like, okay, yeah, his frame's small and it never panned out. You know how many times we've heard that, because of this, it never panned out, and then all of a sudden he becomes the first one. I think Nate Wiggins can become the first one. I'm just saying,
I mean, what did they say about Aaron Donald? Aaron Donald too smart to be defensive tackle, but then he went and became a 10-time Pro Bowler.
Like, it's just one of those things where it's just like, dude, it's just one of those things where it's like, look, you have to try. And for me, the reason I went corner here is like, okay, when it comes to offensive linemen, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, they're not going to be Joe, the kid from Penn State or whatever, but you're still going to get a good offensive lineman. Wide receiver, I mean, dude, we're talking about a possibility where Xavier Worthy could fall out of the first fucking round. Like, that's fucking crazy. We're talking about Adon Mitchell could be falling out of the first round. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy to me. In any other draft, people would want to jump all over him. Brian Thomas is like the redheaded stepchild and nobody talks about him because Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Rome Odunze takes all the credit. But nobody wants to talk about Brian Thomas, and he's almost just as good. So that's fun. But I think with corner, it's do you try? I think it's like you don't want to wait because I don't think you want to play that risk. I don't think you want to play that risk game to where you're gonna have to be like, damn, I know I got this, but I didn't get my other what I needed. So I don't know. And like I said, I think the Colts can go any way here. It's just the way how my draft panned out. It's just I have to go corner here. I need somebody opposite of Kenny Moore. I do, and I think Nate Wiggins would be the perfect fit for a Gus Bradley. So it's hard. It's hard, you know. But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, everybody says. See, that's the thing. Everybody says that about every corner nowadays. They're too handsy. Patrick Surtain, Sauce Gardner, they were handsy too. Derek Stingley, they were handsy too. If that's the like, I'm not gonna say if that's the way of saying, it's this and that. Namdi Asamoah was handsy in Cal. Basically, what that's saying is, I hope somebody falls for it so he can fall to us. That handsy shit, it's all right, whatever, man. It's like, all right, cool. You know how many times I've seen a prospect, like a really good prospect, is like, he's too handsy. Fuck does that mean? Like, yeah, I want him to beat up my receiver prior to 5 yards. Yeah, beat him up. Well, go ahead. You know how many times I've seen, like, I saw Darrell Revis he's handsy. Come on. Champ Bailey was too handsy when he came out. Come on. Too handsy? Come up with something else, man. Come up with something else. Like, that's so, like, it's whatever, man. It's okay, cool. It's technique. Okay, cool. But handsy? Handsy is like that. It's almost saying it's almost like what I hear now in wide receivers, like like catch radius. Can he catch it? Yeah, but his catch radius is not to here to the. Can he catch it? Okay, I don't give a shit then. As long as he can catch it, that's the job description. Can he catch it? Okay, cool. Thanks, man. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. Can he catch? Handsy, it's just listen. I get it. For these scouts, it's like you have to feel something out for reports. I just feel like that's the one where it's like, all right, dude, like let's be real about this for a second. So I don't know. And sometimes it happens. Maybe he is too handsy. All right. Maybe he is too handsy. But when I see it more and more in every prospect, he's handsy. I can go right now into any mock draft website and I can tell you at least 2 to 3 out of the top 5 corners. If I see a weakness, too handsy. All right, that's enough. Not everybody can be too handsy, bro. Like either you're hoping that somebody takes the bait and you just want it for yourself, or what the hell? I'm tired of seeing that. It's all right. I'm tired of this. It's okay. Sauce is the only guy that gets away with. Yes, he is the only guy that gets away with being handsy. But yet, I saw a corner at a Super Bowl a couple years ago who just flicked his towel or the back of his jersey and got called for a pass interference. But when I look back at his report, he wasn't handsy. So what happened? Like, come on, it's just handsy. To me, that's just that's just one of those things where I just always ignore it. I'm just like, all right, handsy, whatever, got it, cool, next. But that's just it. So I got Nate Wiggins. Brandon, you got Mr. Who did you take again? Troy Fautano. So, yeah, for the Colts, it's really either or for these guys here. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But that's going to do it for today. We are off tomorrow because it's Easter. So everybody have fun. Please be safe, though, however. All right. Please be safe during Easter. Doesn't mean that you can go buck wild on Easter. Please be safe. Okay. Like just be safe, guys. All right. Like the world's already crazy. Don't do any more crazy stuff. All right. Like just be cool on Easter. But Brandon, I will see you back Monday. I'll see you back Monday. I completely almost forgot the time. And then I know next week's going to be a little different because we are going to have to do some double picks like we did today. So Monday we're gonna do the Seahawks and the Jaguars. That is number 16 and 17 coming up. 16 and 17. Seahawks, Jags. That's it. Like that's Monday, so it's gonna be double feature, and then obviously up until Wednesday we will keep doing double teams, and then we will be off Thursday, Friday, and then we will be back Saturday. So until then, everybody, please be safe. Have a happy Easter, everybody. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your time with your family and loved ones. Uh, Black Lion Sheep or Black Lion, I do, always appreciate you coming on, my man. I hope you're here for the Texans one. I will let you know when the Texans one ends so we can get you back on because I had fun with it. I know you guys don't have it. You guys don't have it anymore because you traded to the Vikings, but got some extra picks out of it, which is dope. Which is dope. So, I always laugh at that now. Like, of course, Draft Day was a movie. Who would trade a first rounder for, who would trade 2 second rounders for, or 3 second rounders for a first round pick? Like, that's so stupid. Well, here you go. Here you go. Like, so hey, listen, 3 second rounders can really change this franchise. And it's not out of the question that you guys can move back in. So, hey, it is what it is. But we'll let you know. But until then, Brandon, happy Easter, my man. Enjoy your day today. Enjoy your Sunday, and then I will see you Monday, and then we'll go from there. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Please take care. Happy Easter again. Peace.